everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I have a little bit of a different video today, so I thought that I would dabble in the world of makeup, hence the very bare face that's going on right now, and I thought that I would show you how I do my makeup every day. So I'm just going to take you through all the products that I like to use on a day-to-day basis, and I have a couple of kind of newish products as well that I'm going to talk you through. So let's go ahead and get started. So right now I'm just using a primer from Laura Mercier, but I literally only just have like a little sample pot that I got a little while ago when I was buying some products from them. So I'm just going to start my base with that and make sure that my face is all primed and ready to go for the foundation. Generally actually I use primers on days that I'm working or kind of when I'm going out and things like that, but just when I need to make sure that my makeup is going to last for quite a few hours. Maybe on kind of days off and things when I'm just doing like a lighter makeup, I wouldn't necessarily use a primer, but today for the purposes of this video I'm going to be using a primer. I don't know right now what the primer is called because, as I said, it is just a tester, so it's just a little pot that I have, but I will pop it in the description below because it has been really good and I have been enjoying it. So I'm definitely going to be investing in a full size version of that one once I've run out the little tester. Okay, so I am all primed. Next thing I'm going to do before I start any of my foundation is I'm just going to pop a lip balm on because I do suffer from dry lips, so I want them to be nice and hydrated before I kind of start, have a good base of hydration on my lips beforehand. So I normally will just pop on any old lip balm, and this one is the Nivea Hydra Care SPF 15 one, which is fine. It's just one from like a supermarket. It does the job. It's not the best thing in the world, but it kind of serves the purposes of what I need it to do. Okay, so on to foundation. So this is actually a new foundation that I've been using, and I've had it for maybe about a week now, I would say. So it's the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer, and I have got the shade 05, which is Breeze. So this is the second to lightest shade, I think. So I'm always either the lightest shade or the kind of second lightest shade, but this one is the second to lightest shade, just for kind of reference. And it seems to be quite a nice match. I always slightly think that all foundations that I've ever used have been slightly orange on my skin, just because I do have such pale skin that I always think they do brighten up, which is fine. I mean, I probably wouldn't want to go out about with a chalk white face anyway, so this one is quite a nice match. I'm happy with the colour, but I don't know if I would say that it's exactly the colour of my skin, but it works. So this one is supposed to be a foundation and concealer, and I only really actually use it for the foundation. So it comes with this kind of funny applicator. It kind of looks like a large concealer applicator, so I guess that's kind of where they're getting the concealer aspect of it, but it actually makes it really easy to apply to your face because you're not having to pop it in your hand first or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that. So I'll just have a big mirror, sorry if you can see that there. So I'm just going to put one on each cheek, one on my chin, down my nose, and on my forehead as well. And normally I just pop a little bit more down here as well, just in kind of areas that I want to cover up a bit more. So actually, the way that the brush is, it doesn't really allow you to put too much on with one kind of scoop. You have to go back into the bottle to get more. So it's quite good because it means that you don't end up putting on loads and loads of foundation. So it's quite a nice application. And when I spoke to the girl, she said it was kind of multifunctional. You could use it with a brush or you can use it with your hands as well. I tend to use a brush just because I don't really like to get my hands dirty, and I think it's a bit more hygienic to use a brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend that all in here. So that is all blended in now, and as you can see, it gives quite a kind of medium coverage. It's really good for kind of daytime when you just want to look a bit fresher and you don't want loads and loads of coverage. But for what I need it for, I'm really happy with the coverage because it's still kind of, you can still see my skin through it, but it does just cover kind of all of those imperfections that I do want to cover. So the next step is my concealer, but the first one I am going to be using is the NYX or NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Foundation, and this is just a little pot foundation. I'm actually nearly coming to the end of this one. It has been really good, so I would definitely recommend this. So I just use Real Techniques, I don't even know what type this is, but I think it's just one of the ones from the kind of packs that you get. So I just use this to pop this on, and I just pop it underneath my chin just for the little bits that need extra concealing. Sorry, trying not to get this mirror in your face. So I just use it there. I use it a bit for kind of underneath my eyes, just to brighten them up a little bit. And around the side of my nose lastly. So I just like to take my finger and just kind of go over all of those areas just so you can't see any of the brush marks. Obviously I just kind of change that daily depending on where I do need a little bit more coverage. I obviously sometimes have darker circles under my eyes, or I've got the odd spot here and there, so this is a good kind of multifunctional one. It's quite thick, so you don't need too much of it, but it does kind of cover really well. So the next stage that I do is my eyebrows. So my eyebrows, I do actually get tinted because they are completely blonde if I don't tint them, so I do get them tinted. So they have recently been done, so they're in okay shape just now, but I do still like to go over them just to give them a little bit more definition, and for that I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills, which I feel like is a bit of like a cult product, but it is really good, so it does deserve its kind of cult status. And this is the Dip Dye Pomade, and I use it in the colour Taupe, which is nice and kind of ashy, because I'm just using it on this brush, which I actually just got from Primark. I think it was about £1, and it's got the little brush on one end, and then it has the spoolie, is that what this is called? Yeah, I think so. It has a little spoolie on one end, and then it's got a thin little brush which is perfect for doing eyebrows as well, but would be good for kind of eyeliner and things like this. But as I said, this was just like £1 from Primark, and it really does the job. So I just pop a little bit on, not too much because I don't want them to be too intense, and then I just go through the brows and just kind of, let me just go through the brows. And yeah, as I said, because I've kind of recently had them done, they don't need too much product onto them, and they're also kind of fairly easy to see for the shape, so I just go through with a kind of light hand. And hopefully you can see the kind of difference between this one and this one. So it's just a little bit darker, and it just gives a bit more kind of definition to the brow. I have to say guys, by no means am I an expert in makeup, but it's just something that I'm really interested in, and I like watching makeup videos, and I also like doing my own makeup as well. So I thought that I would give it a bash today and see how I get on. I mean, it might go completely wrong and nobody might end up seeing this video, so let's just see. But I needed to do my makeup anyway, so I'm just going to do the other brow now. Just make sure it's matching the other one. Again, maybe for kind of nights out and things like that, I would go slightly heavier on the eyebrows, but for daytime I think it's just best to keep them kind of subtle. And yeah, I'm quite happy with the shape with them just now, and yeah, that's the finished effect with my eyebrows. And then what I'll do after I've popped the product in is I will just go through them with the spoolie and just kind of make sure that they're not too, well, I actually use the spoolie to kind of push my eyebrows up, because I don't know if anybody else has this, but well, I'm sure people do, but my eyebrows so I think most people's eyebrows go up, they like grow up the way, but mine grow down the way, if that makes sense. So I just kind of like to push them up, and then also make sure that I get out any kind of excess product. So that is my eyebrows done there. So next I'm going to do my eyes, I think. and I'm going to be using a palette that I've had for about a year now, but it is wonderful and I would thoroughly recommend it to anybody. And it is the Becca, what's this called? It's called the Ombre Rouge Eye Palette, and it is this one just here. So as you can see, it has 5 colours in it, all kind of relatively warm toned colours, right up to this really beautiful kind of oxblood kind of colour, down to this colour here, which is just a good kind of powder to put on before you put anything else on, and it really just neutralises your eyelids. They don't have shade names or anything like that, but the colours are really, really brilliant, and as I said, I would really recommend this palette for anybody who wants a kind of everyday, all matte. Yeah, well, actually, now that I'm looking at them, so I think these 3 are definitely mattes, and then these 2 are not, they're not glittered, but they're kind of that way that Becca products just have a kind of shine to them. They're not, actually, I don't know if it's just because of the lights, I can't really tell, but they look quite matte on the lid, so I would say that this is a mostly matte palette. But it's got a really kind of good shade range for every day. You can definitely use this for a more kind of dramatic look with this colour as well, but equally it's great for kind of just everyday makeup as well. Oh my god, I've got a dead leg. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so I am going to today, let's see, so I'm just going to be using, so I'm just going to start by using the very lightest shade just to neutralise the kind of my eyelids before I pop on a colour. So let's see, so it really doesn't kind of, it's not dramatic or anything like it, just creates a good base. Make sure your eyelids are all the same colour to start with. Okay, and then I think today I'm going to be using the middle shade here and the slightly more terracotta shade here. They don't have colours, but this is quite a kind of terracotta colour here. So I'm just going to start by just applying the middle one all over my eyelids. I'm just going to tap it off before I do put it on my eyelid. And then, as I said, I'm just going to sweep the colour right across here. Just quite far up on my eyelid, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. You can really see that just gives quite a kind of warm tone to the eyelids, which I quite like. I feel like they're not bronze because they're not metallic, as I said, but they're kind of the colour of a bronzer, which actually, and I have used bronzers as eyeshadows quite a lot before, so I'm not surprised that I like this palette so much, because I do like a warmer kind of shade on my eye. And then, so this one, so that one's all applied to the middle one, and then I'm just going to take the second to the last darkest one and then just pop that through the kind of crease of my eye here. Again, just tapping off any kind of excess and just popping it through the crease here, just to kind of create a little bit of definition. And hopefully you can see that there. Just makes it a little bit darker, but again, nothing too dramatic. And then what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to take a little bit of the dark shade and just put it on the underneath of my eyes. And to do that, I'm going to be using this NYX brush, which probably has a name but it doesn't say on it. Oh no, sorry, it does. Number 15. Just got kind of really small dense bristles on it, so it's good for kind of under the eyes. So again, I don't want to put too much of this dark shade because it is quite dark. But I'm just going to run that underneath my eyes, just for a little bit of definition. And again on the other side. And I just kind of blend the excess of it up into the corner of my eye there. And I do the same on the other side, just so it's kind of all blended together and it's not too harsh. So that just gives a little bit of definition to my eyes. Okay, so on to mascara. That is, oh no, sorry. So I'm going to do actually, I'm going to put a little bit of highlight through my, just underneath my eyebrows, and for that I am going to use a colour from the Tanya Burr, what's this called? Tanya Burr Cosmetics Birthday Suit Eyeshadow Palette, and I'm going to use the shade Marzipan, Marzipan I think this one's called, and again, so I'm just going to take the same MAC 217 brush because of laziness, to be honest with you. And this one is just a beautiful kind of champagne-y colour that works just kind of underneath the eye, the eyebrow bone, just to give it a little bit of a pop under there, which I think makes a bit of a difference. I think it makes your eye makeup look a little bit more polished. So hopefully you can see that there. And then we're going to move on to mascara. Sorry, I was just saying before my camera rudely turned off that I'm going to be using mascara from Benefit, which is the Roller Lash Mascara. So this is just a smaller version that came in a kind of set. I already started to put it on before I realised that the camera had turned off. But this mascara is really, really great. And it's especially great for getting kind of right through the lashes, so you can really put the wand into the root of the lash and it really lets you kind of like bring it out, because the comb seems to just grip onto your lashes, and it really means that you get no clumps as well. So you can just go, so yeah, so as I said, you can just really go to the very root of the lash, and I really like it. It's a really good mascara, which I'm quite fussy with. I normally don't like a lot of mascaras, which I think is partly down to the fact that I don't think I have the best lashes, so it really takes a lot to impress me with mascaras, but this one has absolutely impressed me. I'm just going to do the bottom lashes. So actually I think it's equally as good for the top lashes as it is for the bottom lashes, because it has this wand that has a larger comb on one side and a smaller comb on the other, so you can really do both set of lashes kind of equally well. Okay, and that is my mascara done. So that is the eye part finished. Now I'm going to go back onto my face and I'm going to set the foundation, which I tend to do either just after I've kind of finished the foundation and concealer, or just kind of at this stage. And for this part I'm using the Studio Fix MAC setting powder in the shade NW15, which I have mentioned in a previous favourites video. So again, really good for just making sure that your foundation doesn't budge for a while. I'm not going to say it doesn't budge all day, because I certainly do get home and I definitely do not look the same as when I stepped out the door, but it's definitely a good one for just eliminating the shine initially. So I just tend to put it here because I do get kind of shiny just at the side of my nose, and then just at the bottom of my chin, and then through my forehead as well. So I don't like too matte of a look, but my skin is quite oily, so I know that I do need a powder before I kind of sit out for the day. So this is really good, and it's also really good for just kind of topping up your makeup as well. So next I'm going to move on to kind of warming up my face / doing a contour. So I'm not the best at contouring, so I tend to just use this Tom Ford palette that I've had for a little while now. So this is the Tom Ford shade and Illuminate. It comes with this kind of bronzer and then this highlighter. Both are absolutely brilliant. So what I tend to do just for a kind of bronzer / warming my face up a little bit is I just take, again, a Real Techniques brush, and I just pop it in. I don't put too much on because it can be quite dark, this product. And I just put a little bit underneath my cheekbones here. And another side. So it doesn't, like, it's not too dramatic, but you can see it kind of makes a bit of a difference because I don't want my face to be too warm for the daytime, because then it just looks like I have too much of an orange face, because this is quite dark. So I just use it again, I just use it at the top of my forehead just to kind of create that like 3 effect, and then I just use it underneath my jawbone as well, which I'm sure you all know where you put your contour. I'm sure this is definitely not a revelation to you, but again I just pop it there, and then I just pop it down my neck as well. And let's see, so yeah, so just here, just to give my face a bit more definition and a bit more shape. But hopefully you can see that that makes a little bit of a difference with the shape of my face. That is all I kind of need for now, I think, in terms of contour. And then for blush, I have been using just now a combination in my Hourglass palette, which is looking incredibly filthy on camera, but I'm sorry, it's seen better days, this palette. So this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit, and this is, so today I'm going to use 2 of the blush shades that come in this palette. So I'm just going to use kind of a bit of both, and one is a kind of more raspberry mauve colour, and the other is definitely more of a true pink colour. So I just like to mix the 2 of them because I think they make quite a nice combination. And again, I just tap it off the brush so there's not too much product on, and I just pop it on the apples of my cheeks, which I like to smile for, just so they bring the apples up. And it's just kind of quite a nice flush to the cheeks there. Okay, what shall I do next? So I'm going to do a little bit of highlight, which again I don't like to go too crazy over in the daytime, but I am going to use a Becca highlight, which again I've had for quite a little while now, and it's definitely a brilliant product, but I'm sure everybody has a Becca highlight in their collection because they're by no means underrated. But I have the one in the shade, what colour have I got? Oh, Moonstone. So I just take a brush and pop it in, and then I just pop it on the top of my cheekbones like this. And again, maybe run it through underneath my brow bone. And you can see that that just kind of creates a nice highlight. So sometimes I'll just pop it down the centre of my nose as well. And then lastly, just on my cupid's bow. So the last step that I have is lipstick. And this is definitely the part that I'm most excited about for this video, because I have a brand new lipstick. It's literally just launched the last couple of days, and it is the Alessandra Steinherr for MAC lipstick, and it is in this beautiful, I haven't even tried it, it's just fresh out of the packet, I literally just got it yesterday, and it is in this beautiful nudie pink shade that is absolutely gorgeous, and I haven't even swatched this, so hopefully it actually does look nice on my lips as well. So I was really excited to try this, and I have been a long time fan of Alessandra. She has just got the most flawless makeup all the time, so frankly why would you not want to buy a bit of makeup that she has done? So yes, so I'm just going to put this straight on, straight from the bullet. I'm not going to use a lip liner or anything like that because I wouldn't normally use a lip liner, and yeah, let's just see how it goes. So it's just, so it feels really nice going on. It's very moisturising, and first impression, quite glossy, which is nice. and very easy to wear. I really like that actually. And yeah, I actually really like that lipstick. So a very good purchase, and as expected from Alessandra, who in my eyes can do absolutely no wrong. What a star purchase. I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of that, and hopefully you like it as well. So this is, just trying to make sure I've not missed anything out. Yeah, but so this is my finished makeup look. I hope that you like it, and as you can see, it's just quite fresh for the springtime. It doesn't take too long to do, so I hope that you like this slightly different type of video for me. I really actually enjoyed making it, and it was nice to just kind of chat through whilst I was doing my makeup. And as always, please remember to subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you all again soon. Bye!